Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are going to go ahead and weld this quarter panel in on the Mustang. Before we get started on it, I'm going to go ahead and replace the lens on my mask. As you guys can see, it's a little bit worn out, and I found a good lens, so we're going to pop it on. What do you think, Nate? That's a pretty good lens, right?
Yeah, I need to clean it up a little bit.
It'll be all right. It's the last lens that I had, and I knew I had a few, so I was hoping that I'd find it. So let's pop this thing in here real quick. The lens is very important because you see it's hard to see through that. Just like that, look at that. I'm not a big fan of these new Miller helmets and how the lenses go on because you kind of have to take it a lot apart, but it's okay, it's a good mask. Look at that. Yeah, buddy, that'll work. All right, so we're ready to weld, and probably going to start like on this end here. So we'll start maybe in this corner. We'll get this corner welded on. We'll do all the corners first, and then we'll hit the spot welds. We have to drill a few more right here.
And then what you think once we do that, we go ahead and grind it down and put body filler over it?
Possibly.
Trim it out, put the car back together?
Right here on the rack.
Yeah, let's do
possible.
it. I mean, it's the best way to do it. It's how me and Ben used to always do it.
Yeah, that would be good. But remember, I have that other van that needs to go on.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm thinking that we'll weld it all up, and then we'll drop the car down and knock out that job real quick, and then jump back on this one.
Yeah.
Because obviously this needs to be done, but I scheduled that a long time ago, and I completely forgot about that job. So we'll have to work it in, you know, and then we'll put this thing back on the rack and get the front end knocked out. Because this is a job. This is basically like two jobs right here. So we got to kind of break it up. It can't stay on the rack for too long at one time. And plus, to do the front, we are going to need our second set of frame clamps, and those need to be revamped a little bit. So we'll fix those, and then when we put it back on the rack, we'll have all four of those nice and solid. Because as you guys saw, look at this thing. This front end. This front end is over a good bit. Like you can see this rail, this rail, just like for comparison, it needs to be right here. So we're like almost a foot off of where we should be. And yeah, it's gonna be quite the job. Might even have to pull the motor out, I don't know. So let's get this thing welded up, and we'll go from there. We got the quarter panel all welded on, as you guys can see. Got all the spot welds welded up. Got all the seams welded up. We just zipped the skin on here around the outer, or around the wheel well. And I may have made a little boo-boo right there, but that's no big deal. Just a little bit of body filler, it should be fine. So we're ready to remove this thing off of the rack. We're going to go ahead and take it down and start doing the body work on the insides here. We'll grind all these areas down. We'll put a little bit of body filler on there, sand it down, prime it, get it trimmed out. That way we can get the doors to close and everything, get all the interior put back together and get this thing, you know, ready for paint. So this part of the job is done. I'm very happy. I'm happy with how it turned out. What do you guys think? Did it turn out pretty good? Let's close this door, make sure that the gap didn't disappear. Beautiful. Just absolutely gorgeous. It looks good. Everything looks good. We just need to pump that trunk lid back on it, and then we'll test fit the window, make sure that fits. Get this thing off the rack and get that van on here. The van needs to be knocked out. It's a couple-hour job, so just got to be done. All right, check that out. We got the primer down and it looks really good. So it's basically ready to be sealed on all the edges and corners. What do you think? We'll probably sand it first and then do the sealer last.
Yeah, that way it's just ready for paint.
Yeah, so we'll have to seam up everything like these edges right here. And then stuff like right here. And then this right here needs a nice seam. Well, you can't really see it on that side, but this crack right here between the two body panels will need some sealer, and we usually like to do the sealer after we prime it because, you know, the metal is better when it's primed. It's not going to rust, and then if you try to prime over sealer and then sand, it doesn't work out good. So it's also faster this way. So we'll sand it all down, then we'll seal it all up and get it painted. We can do a little update on some of the other builds that we also have been working on behind the scenes. We've got a lot of other stuff going on. As a matter of fact, Dad almost has the Ford Transit van finished. We can go over there and check that out. Look at this thing. He just got it primed today. We actually primed it together with the Mustang. Looking good, sir. When are you gonna paint it?
Today?
Today?
I need it today, I think.
No, you can't paint it today. We primed it today. Basically just need to paint these little areas and get it assembled, get it on its way. And also, if you guys remember, we have this little blue car. Did we ever do a video on this car, Nate?
Yeah, of course. Replace the transmission. Oh, it's painted, huh?
Oh, look, it got painted. It looks good. So basically just need to put the headlights and the front bumper cover on it. I think Dad actually painted this car without us even knowing it. That's why we never got to do a painting video. But look how good it looks. He did a really good job. It's kind of dusty right now, but he did a really good job. And then also, if you guys remember the OG vehicle, one of our very first frame jobs on the channel. You guys remember
Yes, sir.
this
This is the like first one.
So basically what happened with this car, it wouldn't start for the longest time. And we could not figure out what was wrong with it. And then we found out that Dad hooked up a wire wrong. And then so he figured it out. So now it just needs to be painted. New windshield, paint job, get it all assembled. You know, get it on the road. This car's been here for a long time.
This car is as old as the channel.
This car is literally as old as the channel. Dad got this car probably even before the channel. Hey, so as you guys know, I had a pearl white BMW and I did not like the color, so I repainted it. And here she is. We got all the carbon on it, and we still need to install the rear bumper, but it's not a big deal. I also went ahead and machined the rims. I didn't like the black that we painted on there, so I machined it down with my machine CNC lathe 3069. And front bumper's chipping a little bit because it used to be black. No, I'm kidding. So this is our cousin's car. He just bought this, and it's going to be a future rebuild, obviously. It's hit kind of hard. It's got some damage to it. Look at that. It got a little inner structure damage. So it needs a quarter skin. And then that frame rail looks like it's punched in a bit. So it's going to be a pretty invasive surgery on this one. But it's actually a really nice model. This seat right here, it's got like a hole through it. It's pretty cool. You know, you can tickle the driver when you're in the back seat. Got the air conditioning just like mine. But the coolest thing about this car is it's a manual. That's really cool, because these cars are kind of rare when they're manuals, you know. Looks like the shop that was doing the insurance teardown, I guarantee you they pulled these seats out right here and they just kept them. They held on to them because they probably looked very nice to them, which I do agree on. At least they didn't take the door panel, you know. They took this door off, took the back seat. At least they didn't take the driver's seat, right?
They had no excuse to do that.
Yeah, that's like $2,000 worth of stuff missing right there, maybe more, but I think it'll be okay. All right, so that's gonna be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed that content, hit that like button, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, and also check us out on Instagram at 23rd_garage, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.